What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, September 30th, 2020, and it is what I call What Women Want Wednesday. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee, focused on connecting the community through conversations. So this is an interactive live. I'd love to hear from the viewers. So as you come on to join the conversation today, I ask you to tell us what city and state you are tuning in from. What city and state? Just put it in the comments. Where are you tuning in from? We want to know. We want to give you a shout out. So I see Michael Perry here giving us a happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Michael, to you. Thank you for joining us. We have a full slate of folks with us here tonight. I'm so excited to be talking to the cast of Hands Up. It has a little bit of a longer name. I'm going to let E.Marie tell you more about that. But a play that's here in Tallahassee, both virtually and in person, but mostly virtually. And E.Marie will tell you more about that. E.Marie Sissle is no stranger to Conversations with Nicole. She actually was on season 1 back in 2016, promoting the Midtown Entertainment back then. But now she has rebranded and has SoMo Arts, SoMo Playhouse. So I'm super excited to have her with me tonight and some of the players from the play. So we are just ready to have great conversation. We are going to be talking about using theater for social change, So without further ado, please help me welcome Miss E.Marie Sissle.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here, Nicole.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to be here. Yes.
So tell me what you've been doing. What's going on?
Well, just like everybody, maintaining and living out this interesting year, but theater hasn't stopped. We're excited to say that. Of course, we took a break for a while, but this is actually the second show. We did a show for Juneteenth, but this is our second show coming back out, and we are excited that we are having performances in person and online, which is new for us, but it is exciting progression of theater and evolution of theater for us.
Nice. So for those who may not know who you are, just tell them a little bit about your background and what you do.
Well, I'm a Tallahassee native. I wasn't born here, but I was raised here. I went to Lincoln High School, let's go Trojans, Tallahassee Community College, and Florida A&M. And this is my home. This has always been my home. I left for a few years after graduation, but when I returned back to Tallahassee, I'd been doing theater for a number of years. And then when I got here, I kept honestly asking God, okay, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Education is in my family, so I knew I was going to have education to do and to teach, but I wanted to do more. And then one day he just kind of talked to me for a long time. And he said, I want you to do theater. I want you to open up a theater company. And since that day, that's all I've been doing. I promised. I said, this is all I'm going to do, God. You gave me the gift and I'm going to use it.
Awesome. Now, while at FAMU, you involved in acting?
I was. I actually started theater at Tallahassee Community College. I was music major. I did music from 4th grade all the way into college, and I just needed an elective. So I said, oh, well, let me try a theater class.
Okay.
So completely changed my life and started and fell in love with theater. And then I heard FAMU was doing the Wiz.
Ah.
And that I said, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to say, let me paint a wall. They had already cast by the time I found out about it. I think they had cast in December and I found out about it in February.
Okay.
I went over there and I was like, oh, can I do this? I literally said, can I just paint a wall? And then Luther Wells, he said, do you know how to sing? And I said, yes. And he said, okay, well, go join rehearsal. And that made, I'm telling you, made my life at the end, because I always wanted to do the whiz. And so that's how I started doing theater at Florida A&M University.
Wow. So you caught the bug from there, huh?
I did. And it has not let me go since then.
Wow. Amazing. I'm glad to hear that story.
Yeah.
I don't recall hearing that story from you before, but that's interesting. That's interesting. So tell me about Hands Up.
Hands Up. So TCC decided to do this production and reached out to my company, SoMo Playhouse. And of course, I was excited about it because it was written in 2014 as it was commissioned by the New Black Fest. And they commissioned 7 different writers to write their reaction from the killing of Michael Brown. So that's why there's different perspectives and how they felt about it, how they felt just being Black in America. And it was powerful when I began to read it, because it seems like it was written this year instead of 2004. It could have been written in the 1960s, the 70s. It's hard to say. It could have been written in any decade. And it's very, very relevant to what we're going through right now. In fact, we could literally add some more names that we talk about in the production about people who have been killed by police violence. And that's what it really is about. It's about unarmed Black people. It's about people who don't identify as Black, but they are Black. It's different stories that how we see ourselves in today's society and having to deal with police shootings and abuse.
Wow. Powerful. So it's 7 playwrights, 7 testaments, correct?
That's exactly what it is. 7 different playwrights.
Wow. So you have 7 players that are performing testaments.
It's 7 male actors and 1 female actor. So so all of them are different. Some of them are students, some of them are community members, some of them are international actors, and they're all kind of coming together to tell these very impactful stories.
Okay, very good. Well, let's bring on our special guests, the thespians among us. So why don't we start with Miss Nia, the lady of the bunch.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. So Nia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, hello. I'm Nia Jermaine Sissle, and I happen to be the daughter of the director. I was born here in Tallahassee. I went to Florida A&M for performance theater. I minored in music. And for the last 5 years, I've been traveling internationally as a cruise ship performer.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How nice. Okay. And what role do you play in the play?
I play the character of Nikki.
Okay.
It's a short, well, not short, it's pretty a long monologue by Nambi Kelly.
Okay.
It's a crazy monologue about this girl named Nikki and how she goes through domestic abuse, racial injustice, and police brutality, and all of those sorts of things, all wrapped into one monologue.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. Well, thank you. We'll chat with you in a little while. So next, we're going to bring up Jermaine.
Hi. How you doing?
Doing well. Welcome. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Jermaine Benjamin Jr. I I'm from Miami-Dade, 305, all the way
Okay.
live.
Yeah.
I attended high school at Dr. Michael M. Crop Senior High School, and my teacher for the drama department was Jamel Rashad Booth, and he's a FAMU alum. Woo
Mhm.
woo. I currently attend Tallahassee Community College, and I'm going to get my AA's degree, and then hopefully transfer to FSU to get my BFA in theater.
Okay, wonderful. And what a role do you play in Hands Up?
I play the character Amen, and a little bit about him. He's kind of an extremist in a sense, and he is very he is very, very, very nice. Oh, my stuff dropped. Sorry. He is nice and he's charming and stuff. And but everything going on with the world today and during that time period, it's just a lot for him. And he decides that there's only one way that he can put his, how do I explain it, his all into it in a sense.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Good deal. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Kiati. Hey there.
How you doing? How you doing?
You're doing well. Oh, too cool for me.
Yes,
Yeah, come on. Tell the folks what you saw. Tell them a little bit about you.
Uh, my name's Keate, from Dade County, of course.
Yeah.
They make the best. Um, I started acting at a very, very young age. I can't quite put an
Okay.
age on it, but I think what really started it was Tyler Perry's plays. Me and my grandmother and my mom, we would watch them all the time, and we would watch them so much because they were so funny. I would end up reenacting certain pieces from the plays, and my mom and my family was like, "Oh, this is like really good." So I ended up going to Norland Middle School, Huskies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in
Yeah.
the theater magnet program, and from there, just kind of took off. I took a little quick break, but when I got back into high school, I got back into acting, and I was part of the thespian club there. And we went on to do a lot of great work. We won quite a bit of competitions with the districts and states every year. Critics' Choice and Superiors. Less.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so,
Nice. And tell us about
um,
the character you play in Hands Up.
well, my character doesn't really have a name.
Okay.
But I think that is kind of what makes the character so influential because he's speaking from the perspective of the whole of the Black community and more so the younger generation of the Black community. So I think that really was quite a clever play by the writer, which is Dennis Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's really raw. The emotion is very raw, anger, emotion, and it's a build up to it. And I think, after seeing the first 6 monologues, you can kind of tell that there's a build in the emotion. And I think my character is the straw that broke the camel back.
Mm.
And,
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you all for sharing and thank you all for being here. So, have you been in a play, anything like this before? Have any of you been in a similar production?
Well, I can say that I've been in a play about our community as young Black people. I was in the play called A Day of Absence,
Yeah.
and basically it's about what would happen if all the Black people were to go missing back in, I believe, the 1920s, 1930s, around that time. And so we were all in whiteface, and we were typical white people from the country, and just trying to live this life without our servants and our maids and whatnot and stuff. So I've been in a play kind of like that in a sense.
I really want to do that play. I found out about that play a while at FAMU, and that's one I really want to do. It basically all the Black people in the town disappear, and you see the white people trying to kind of figure out what to do. So it's comical, but it has a message behind it. So
Right.
it's a pretty good play.
I call it the Black Rapture.
Mhm.
Right.
That's what it seemed like too. When the Black people came back, they was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you."
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have not been in a play, but I've done two monologues from two different shows. One is called For Color Girls.
Oh yeah.
And the other one, which yes, it became a movie. And also The Colored Museum.
Oh nice.
Both of them talk about some of the same things that we talk about in Hands Up.
Okay.
Like domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And racial injustice, a lot of the same topics in both of those plays.
You were actually in the Colored Museum when you were 4. I know you don't remember. You were a little girl when you played in it. So.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I think I know which one she played too. Lala, right?
She was the reflection of one of the characters, like the little girl. But yeah,
nice. So this particular production, tell me about how much training or practice that you all have to do in order to reach perfection.
I think we're still I think we're still on our way to get to perfection.
Right.
I know Kiadi. Look, he's so cool. He got it.
I thought he
was. All right, no,
I think it starts from a point of kind of understanding the history of African Americans in the United States, and then from that point, it's not so hard for me, at least I'll say, because I have a habit of like all of the old movies, Amistad, Higher Learning, anything with that racial tension in it. I tend to watch those a lot. Now, a lot of my mother, she can't handle that emotionally. But I think I've become accustomed to it because it kind of keeps me in that mindset of this is still happening. You have to be aware of what's going on, and if you're not aware of your past, it can very well repeat itself. So I think once I get through those motions and then just reading the lines and getting the lines down, just being an African American in this country, you're going to naturally fit into that role. It won't take a lot to get into it, even if you're not a direct, let's say you haven't experienced directly what the actor or the writer was expressing. You feel the emotion because you know somebody who has been affected by that. You know somebody who does feel like that. So I think, especially for this particular play, and because of what's going on today still, it doesn't take a lot to snap you into that mode.
Okay.
We actually started the process off we had to do rehearsals through Zoom. So we would have rehearsals, me, the stage manager, shout out to Skylar. We would have rehearsals with each one and talk about their experiences. Have you ever experienced racial profiling? Have you ever gotten angry about a situation? Have you heard of this? And we talked a lot right at the beginning about what they had gone through individually. And we also discussed doing something called an actor's journal. So where I hope they're still journaling. You got your actor's journal.
Okay.
Where they would write down their thoughts, they would write down their feelings and everything that made up themselves that they could put into the character. But it basically is pulling out what the character is thinking and what we call the backstory. So we definitely talked a lot about preparation up to what they were going to handle in the monologues, because it's not something that you can easily like process. What I'm saying, it's a lot to carry on, a lot of emotional baggage with these characters, and so you really had to really write as a form of therapy. Also, not only finding the character, but to where you had to write down your own feelings too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, have you all found the journal to be helpful?
I have personally. I know that no, naturally I'm a giddy, happy-go-lucky person, and mm, Amen's character, he's very like me, comedic and funny and welcoming, but at certain points in the monologue, it does become very, very serious, and it's very hard to just snap like that, like how he does. So the journal, I write down my thoughts, I write down his thoughts, I write down my thoughts in the character of him as well. And like a lot of that helps me emotionally. And like literally, you can ask Miss Sissle. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Miss Sissle, I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry. Dang, it didn't work." And it's like, it's so frustrating. But the more and more I use the journal, the more and more I almost get there.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because I often wonder about actors, like how do you get there? How do you, I know read your lines, you kind of study your character, or at least try to get a sense of who the character is, so that you can kind of embody this person and be believable to your audience. But gosh, it just seems like such a challenge. Like, like
It
for instance,
is.
if you have to cry in this moment,
Yeah.
you really taking on this persona to, imagine if you were this person and you were, literally like in their shoes.
Mhm.
Some
You
people
do.
in some they have something called, you're right, and they have something called method acting.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sometimes actors will have to completely embody the character 24/7, and that's how they get into the character.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of that because to a certain extent, then it's not acting. Like I don't know, because you have, unfortunately, the guy who played Batman.
Mhm.
Not I'm sorry, the Joker.
Joker.
I'm sorry,
Joker, Heath Ledger,
he
best
Mhm.
Joker hands down. By the way,
Yes.
just throwing that
Best
out there.
Joker. Oh my
Agreed.
gosh.
Agreed.
he did a great job, but
Mhm.
he did something called method acting,
Mhm.
where 24/7 he was messed up in the head, where he did drugs that unfortunately caused him to pass away.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm just saying. But then you have some actors that can just cut it on,
Mhm.
cut it off,
Mhm.
and then you have some like me. It takes me a moment to put myself into this character. I have to pull on experiences that I've had in my life to connect myself with this character, which because of the topics,
Mhm.
because of the topics in Hands Up, I can connect to it because we're living this right now,
Mhm.
Mhm.
2020, and we are literally living some of these things right now.
So speaking of living this right now, because that is our reality, does that help you with your roles or your characters in a play like Hands Up?
Yes.
It does.
Yes, absolutely. I find myself getting more emotional. I'm trying to connect as an actor, but yes, I kind of get overwhelmed with emotion because I'm like, I'm talking about it in my monologue. I talk about other people who have died at the hands of cops, and I'm thinking about Breonna Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
who just passed away.
Right.
I'm
Right.
hearing, I'm thinking about that.
Mhm.
So absolutely, it does get overwhelming sometimes.
with my character, it's like certain key words that he says really, really get to me. And the more you read about your character, like the more you read the words that they say, the more you understand what they're saying. Really, really. And it's like those key words, I put so much stress and emphasis on them because emotionally I feel that. I feel what he's going through as a Black man in a community that's against him, that's made to be against him. And then to watch all those people and to hear about all these people going through the same turmoil. And mind you, this play was made way before the situations that we go through now, but it still repeats itself over and over and over again. And so like looking at that, it can really frustrate you and really hurt you and your character. And so that helps a lot with it as well.
Gotcha. So is it the words that really make a difference or matter, or is it the intentionality and the emotion behind the words that have a greater effect?
So it's always
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, yes,
both.
you're right. But the writer writes the words for a certain reason, and
Right.
this is why, as an actor, we just don't read over certain words. We have to actually break down why did they say this particular thing. Because they mean something behind the words, and we have to pull them out. Some people could just read it and like, oh, it's nothing. No, this writer meant something. It's something they were trying to say, and we have to figure out what was the writer really trying to tell us. And then we have to convince ourselves in our head. I call us professional liars, and first we have to lie to ourselves, and then we have to actually figure it out and then present that to the audience with our own interpretation. This is why you can do Shakespeare. You've done Shakespeare forever, but it can mean something different to you. And where it lines up is what the author meant and what you think it means. And that marriage together is the differences in the performances.
All right.
And with the director as well, because of course you need director's interpretation as well. And so it's all those three things together. So don't get rid of me.
No, never that. So we have a question from Tyrone Brooks, who's with the Tallahassee Ballet. He's the artistic director over there. He wants to know, what resources have you utilized that helped your process in preparation for your characters? Anybody?
Yeah, like I said, I watch a lot of those movies that have that sensitive emotion in it that's gonna trigger you. I watch those, and I put them on repeat. I'll constantly watch them. I pick like maybe 3 or 4 movies and just watch it constantly. Like Rosewood is definitely probably one of my favorite movies, but in a sad sort of way. There's a scene, I can't remember her name, but the lady that Florida Evans, she plays the mom in the movie, and it's a white. Yeah, thank you. You right. I'm sorry. Lord have mercy. She is like, she's old, but she's been nursed to almost everybody in the community and the white town next to it. And she's trying to fight for her son's life, and like, you guys know that my son wouldn't do this. You guys know who did this, right? And they shoot her on the porch, and that scene always sticks in my mind because I always have a conversation with not just my mom but my family, and this drives me a lot through this entire monologue. I don't want to turn on my TV or look at my phone and see a picture of my mom or my dad or my brother in one of those articles or videos, because I'm not going to have no understanding. I'm not going to have, me personally, I don't think I'll be able to have the emotional and mental strength to not just flip. And those movies, but watching constantly, it keeps me in a state of alertness, so that better prepares me for, God forbid, if anything like that ever happens to somebody in my immediate family,
Yeah.
it won't be as much of a shock. It'll be something I can kind of just gradually ease into and move accordingly.
Right. Because this is your form of protest, honestly. Using theater, this is your way to speak out and to let people know of the issue, to educate, to bring awareness, to, encourage progressive social change in a calm manner. This is your way to kind of, yeah, like I said, protest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you all think about that? In particular, Nia, Jermaine, and Keontae, about using theater as a form of social change to help usher in change in our society about race, about gender, about so many of the things that we take issue with. So what do y'all think about that?
I love it personally. I love it. But at the same time, I do have my worries because like Miss Sissle said before, we can do so much on the stage, but it's what the audience takes home.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they won't. So, okay, a lot of people have like different ways of coping with certain things, and sometimes they'll dismiss certain things, or sometimes they'll just see the comedy and not the message, the real message. So, along with that play, well, both plays, The Color Museum and A Day of Absence, those are both comedies. And sometimes it worries me that people, when they watch it, they just think about the comedy and they don't take home the message. So, but at the same time, you have to say, as an actor, what are you going to do? What risk are you willing to take for them to get that? Because you want to get that person's story across.
Powerful. What risk are you willing to take as the actor? I
Mhm.
love it. Love it.
I do believe that it's a form of making people aware of what's happening. Because prior to reading this monologue, I hadn't known about the story of the three ladies that I talk about in this monologue.
Okay.
She talks about three other women who were abused by the police. And yeah, like Jermaine said, it is really important to find what you want to say, what the real message of your monologue, of your character. And once you get to that, once you let these people know what's happening, I think that brings about action. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, yes. Okay, go
I
ahead.
do. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
I know he's so cool.
I do enjoy it. Like Jermaine said, I do enjoy it for two reasons. I do it for one, just for the love of the art, just for the art itself. The second reason I do it is this is my attempt at honoring my ancestors, especially those such as your Martin Luther Kings, your Dr. Kings, because at the end of the day, you know right from wrong, and I think everybody deep down inside knows that violence isn't really the answer. Violence begets violence. So this is my way of appeasing that notion. But like Jermaine said, I am concerned highly because it only reaches so far, and it's what the audience takes. I'll never forget, my mother told me one time, I'll never forget it. People understanding of things are limited to their perception.
Say that
How they
again.
perceive reality is how they understand reality. He said people's understanding is limited to their perception.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
However they perceive reality, that's the limit to their understanding. There's, think of it like the ocean and space. There's a bunch of things we don't know, but if you don't even attempt to perceive that as a reality in your life, you won't really understand. Can't even begin to understand it.
Right.
Gotcha.
And we do have the power to change perception. We have, I mean, with our words, with our performances, there is that potential to actually change someone's behavior based on what they have seen. Like
Yes.
you say in your monologue, and I always love it. And I actually brought it because I was like, I really wanted to say it. I'm not interested in giving you a history lesson. There are scholars out there more knowledgeable than I am. We don't talk politics, sociology, psychology. That's not always us.
Right.
That's not us. So because you can find that anywhere.
Right.
But we're supposed to entertain. That's what we do. But then we can educate and bring awareness at the same time. And that's having a greater platform than, some other medium, some other lecturers or things like that, if I'm making sense with that. There's a lot of things that we could do just by performing. The words of people who have gone through other things. We don't actually have to go through those things, but we can portray those characters in those stories, and that brings about societal change and awareness, and that's fun. That's fun to do, and that's an impact that we can leave our performances. We can leave this world better than it was.
Amen. So let me ask you, who do you believe this play is for?
It's for everybody. It's for everyone. It's for all of us, and even for us. I mean, we go into this thinking that we're going to teach someone something, and we learn a lot. Every character that we portray, we learn. So it's for everybody, your mom, your dad, for anybody, people of color, non-people. It's for everybody to know these stories. And yeah, that's it. Anybody want to add to that?
Kiate says a line towards the end of his monologue, and I can't remember for sure exactly what he says, but he says something about not no one can save us. I mean, he says
No one can
not
keep their
white,
hands up forever.
not no,
Yeah,
not
not
that
white,
part.
not black, not police.
Yeah, not whites, not blacks, not anybody. Like, and what he says, y'all got to come see the show because I'm giving the lines all wrong. But what he says,
You are butchering it, sir.
what he says is so important because a lot of people always say, oh, well, black on black crime is a thing too, and then people are like, oh, white and black crime is a thing and it's more important, da, 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 da. Both of that is very important. That is something that we as a community, us as black people, need to work on, and that's something as us as black and white people need to work on. We need to live in a world of just peace.
Indeed.
So when we speak about those things, we don't neglect that we have our own little things in our communities that we do wrong. We put that in there and we say that. And I don't know if other people pick it up, but every time I'm on that stage and I listen to Kiate and I listen to Superiority Fantasy, which is the first monologue, he says something about that too. And it's like, wow, we really do need to work on humanity, our morals as people, not
right.
yeah, as humans, not of color, not people of color, not people of white or black or Asian or whatever. We as a unit need to work on being more peaceful towards each other.
So should law enforcement see this play?
I think they should. I think everyone should, like Miss Sissle said.
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
Right.
100% agree.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I think law enforcement may get a
I
different
definitely agree with
perspective
that.
on things based on and I haven't seen the play, but
Mhm.
based on the way you all are describing it, perhaps this would be an opportunity for them to put themselves or witness you know, some of the victims of police brutality and deaths. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because
They,
like the name of Kiate's monologue is called "How I Feel," and
mm,
and that's just it. We're just telling you how we feel. So
Right.
whether you agree or you don't agree, don't dismiss, how we feel.
right.
Mhm.
We're just laying our heart on the stage, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So what?
And can we say hello to our other members as well?
Absolutely.
Trey and Steven and Noble.
Hey
Sorry.
y'all, hey
Yes.
casting crew.
The crew. Yes. So folks are growing very impatient. They are asking when, where. They want the details. How can they find out about the show? So I wasn't ready to give all of that yet, but I guess we'll go ahead and do it again at the very end. So let them know. How can they see it?
While it's being live streamed, Broadway on demand, they can go to Theater TCC that it's producing along with my company, SoMo Arts. Theater TCC is you can go to their
Hey,
website.
Noble.
And you can actually purchase tickets through Theater TCC. We can actually put the link somewhere if you can just click on. And what's nice is that you'll actually get the link, an individualized link for your day, your time, and it can't be shared with anybody else. So you'll get your specific link to watch the show. But you can also, we do have limited seating. And we do like an audience, and we can, we got a few more seats that can be filled. So it would be nice. Of course, we do have to practice social distancing, but
Right.
our show is, what's today? Wednesday?
Yes.
What's it?
So,
Like Wednesday, yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday,
so
and
yeah,
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 8. And you can come see it, but you just have to let us know well in advance. So, but it is streaming online.
Oh, look, I was writing it in and Noble beat me to it. There we go.
Thank you, Noble.
I love it. I love it. I love having a wing person. So this October 2nd and 3rd at 8 p.m. and October 4th at 2 p.m.
Right.
Which is my anniversary. Yay. Happy anniversary, Noble.
Nice. So what have you all learned in this process in terms of the play? What have you learned?
Well, oh, go ahead, Nia.
Okay, you're gonna call me out. Okay. Well, there is one line that she says in this monologue, and she says, my character, she says, "That cop failing me makes me stronger," and it resonated with me because it kind of spoke for a lot of people who are dealing with these problems with police brutality, and it just kind of just tells us that we might be sad, we might be hurt. Yes, these things might be happening, but we need to be strong. We need to stand together and fight this. Because, like I said, awareness is the first thing. We know about these things, and we need to fight for our injustices and do the best we can to stop it from happening.
A line from mine.
Go ahead.
Okay, a line from mine. He says, "You have to be able to love so ferociously that you are willing to lose yourself and sacrifice in order to be with love." So, like, what that means to me is that love conquers all for me. And even though like some people are like, oh my gosh, this man is crazy, it's like, no, love really does conquer all. If we try to fight, if we try to, if we stop being so violent towards each other, then the world would be a better place,
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
honestly.
Yeah. Keate.
Kiate?
It's okay if you don't have anything. It's cool. No.
What have you learned?
No, I think this has learned. I've learned how to be more adaptive
Mm,
and more patient. Because
Mhm.
listening to all of the monologues, like my monologue is last, so I get to sit and listen and watch everybody else perform.
mhm,
And then it's always I always pick out something new every night in every rehearsal.
mm,
Um, you take the good with the bad.
mhm,
You know, it's unfortunate that this stuff is still going on in 2020, but you have to keep hope. You have to keep hope alive to some degree because there are, I don't want to be another martyr. I think as as a black community specifically, we've lost so many powerful people.
mhm,
I don't, you know, I just don't know how much more we can handle. So it puts you in a position where, like uh, a favorite rapper of mine, Killer Mike said, survive the encounter. Don't I understand that the emotion is there and it hurts, and you can get angry. You can definitely get angry, but don't go throw your life away. There's You play chess, not checkers. There's a
mm,
way to play this game. Um, and if you don't survive the encounter, you can't really afford any more martyrs.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you never, and I say this all the time, and that's why I pray all the time that this comes like to an immediate halt because it's gonna be the wrong son, it's gonna be the wrong daughter, it's gonna be the wrong mother. You know, somebody is going to lose their life, and that family, they're not going to be able to handle that in the appropriate way.
mm,
And there's a line in one of the monologues, actually in the first superiority fantasy. If this doesn't stop now, this is you throwing a match on a tender that could possibly spark another civil war. Can't
Hmm.
really afford that right now. We cannot afford that as a community, as a country. We cannot afford it.
mm.
It's too much stake.
Okay.
So yeah, patience is definitely one of those things I've learned, and being able to adapt, like Miss Sissle said, and not take the words that the writer wrote and portray that in a way that combines your experience as well as what the writer is trying to get across.
Okay. Very good. Wow. Well, lots of thoughts. I do definitely believe that theater is a tool for social change, and I'm grateful that you all are using this platform in this way. I've even though I have not seen the play, I imagine some of the characters may feel a sense of helplessness, may feel a sense of a lack of a support, and feeling like there's really no one to come to their rescue. And there probably are many of us out here that can relate to
Hmm.
that hopeless, helpless feeling, because we can't compete with the powers that be, right? Or at least we believe we can't. I believe Jermaine's sentiments about love really being the key.
Yeah.
Um, so, hopefully that will be what is gleaned from
Yes.
the play.
Yes. There's
So
light. There's a lot of light. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of
Oh,
light.
Chucks, you got to make me blush.
There's a lot of light and love through the whole thing. It's just not 7 different monologues of this. No, it is not. And we were very careful to not let it be full of rage the entire time. There are moments, of course, but no, there's comedy, there's light, there's passion, there's a lot of surprises in this. And it's well written. It is.
Good.
There are moments where they do talk about how to overcome
Yeah.
a lot of these.
Good. I like to hear that, because while I am a person who loves a great conversation, and I like to talk, but I like some action. I like to. I want to see what we doing. Right. I want to know what how
Amen.
can we move forward? How can we progress from here to a better place? So
That's the goal.
Mm.
That's ultimately the goal. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nia.
Absolutely. Exactly how you said. You get that feeling of where we're going. How do we make action? There was one woman who came up to us after she saw the play, crying. She was in tears, and she said she wanted to bring more people to come see it. And I think that's one of the reasons why we do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
When that happens, well, how do y'all feel when y'all see something like that?
Good. Like,
It makes me feel great.
our job,
Right. That means we doing the job real well.
It's great. Yeah. Not even the first night, the second night of performance, after we got off stage and we another great show. I was getting ready to go to the car, and there was this older white woman sitting outside, and she like stopped me in the middle of my tracks, and like, you were amazing. Your monologue was just so powerful, and like tears coming out of her eyes, and that really touched me, because for me as a young Black man to get that emotion across to an older white woman that I have almost nothing in common with, that is very powerful. Very, very powerful.
You've done your job. You've been that
Right.
bridge. And that's what's exciting, is that you're bridging different people to come together to have that discussion. We can't do anything if we're just on this path just by ourselves. So theater can be that bridge of bringing these different people together. So you've done your job, you guys, and they do their job quite beautifully. I must say, I'm very impressed by each one of them. Every single night, I focus. Honestly, they don't know this, but I really say I'm going to focus on this monologue tonight, and I see different things that I love from each and every one of them, and they're doing their job quite beautifully.
Awesome. Yeah, Kiati, I know you said you have nothing in common with this white woman, but you probably have more in common than you recognize. Yeah, which is part of why, she could connect the humanness of it. These are human beings that we're talking about that are being treated, inhumanely. So yeah, no, kudos to you. Kudos to all of you for this wonderful work. And I can't wait to see this play.
We can't wait for you to come see it.
Okay, all right.
You got context on us Friday, Saturday night at 8, Sunday at 2.
All right. Look, y'all heard it. It's recorded right here. No, I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to it. So one more again, give them the details. They can go to
look at him being on
TCC. That's
But
the
you can also go to on Facebook. You can find TCC on Facebook, on the Instagram, on Twitter, and go to SoMo Arts, SoMo Arts, and we have the link there, and find out a little more about our theater, our new facility opening up in 2021.
okay, nice.
So I know we're excited about it. A 4,000 square foot theater space.
Wonderful.
So find out a little more about our
Okay.
future.
Good,
Mhm.
good. That's gonna be quite an expansion from our little spot over on Southwest.
Yes, yes. I think that was maybe 1,000, maybe even a little less.
Yeah, look,
Black Box Theater.
listen, we was grateful. Season 3 of Conversations with Nicole was in that little theater, so I'm grateful. Look, I appreciate it.
About the evolution, yes.
Yes,
And look at Conversations with Nicole now.
to God be the glory. So listen, y'all have got to come see this play. October 2nd and 3rd, 8 p.m. October 4th, 2 p.m. Online, virtual, but also limited seats in person at the TCC Auditorium, Turner Auditorium. So, yes, Tallahassee. Yes. Oh, look, Noble is on point. That's what I'm saying.
Come on out.
Tell them.
Not playing no games today.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, yes.
I need him on my marketing team.
Okay. Yes.
What?
So SoMoArts.org. You can get more information there. How can the community assist? I mean, outside of definitely supporting the production this weekend, what else can we assist with?
Well, okay, so the proceeds of the play right now go towards the future of the theater program at TCC where I started. So I'm so excited about that.
Okay.
So we also need maybe some donations towards SoMo Arts as well. They brought me in as a director, but 100% of the proceeds at this point go towards advancing that program. So we would also like for people to support SoMo Arts as well. So
Awesome. All right. So one last round from our special guest. So Nia, what's next for Nia after Hands Up?
After Hands Up, well, I'm hoping to go back on the seas. I'm hoping to get back out on ships whenever COVID decides to stop.
All right, gotcha. Jermaine, what's next for you after Hands Up?
Live my life. Live my life. I definitely would love to be in so much more productions, any productions that I can do. I do want to start dancing as well because I'm trying to get in musical theater. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just be working on myself.
All right. So musical theater, I love it. All right. And Piate?
Right now, I have a record label, an independent record label that's been established since May of this year. I just signed the lease actually today for the studio space. So I'm going to be working on getting that in and trying to build my clientele here in Tallahassee. And, if everything works out, if God decides to continue blessing me, we're going to, after my 2 years here, go to Miami and make Miami pop off. A lot of people always like to go to Atlanta, New York, LA for entertainment. No, make home pop off, and you gotta go nowhere.
Right?
Nice. See, you learn about your own cast.
Right.
You didn't even know. I love it.
You did not know. You could have shared it.
Yeah.
You got the exclusive right here.
Shoot, they say success moves in silence, so sure.
Yes. Well, all the best to all of you. And once again, I appreciate it. I'm just overjoyed to have you on and to share your stories and to share this important work, to share your gifting. Because I am of the mindset that we all have gifts and talents that the world is waiting on, and we cannot sit on them. And you all definitely are not sitting on them. So again, congrats, all the best. I look forward to hearing more great and wonderful things from you, about you, and keep in touch. Let us know what's going on with you in the future.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Our
Yeah.
pleasure. So
We appreciate it.
before y'all
Yes,
head
thank you
out,
for having
my
us.
pleasure, my pleasure. I want to thank our viewers who had lots of questions and comments. And, my wingman tonight, Noble. All of the information. He was just on
Yes, honey. Yes.
everything tonight. So yes, shout out to Mr. Sissle for being the the texter that put the comments in there for me. So all right, well, we will catch y'all later and catch y'all on the weekend at the theater. Hands up.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.